as we know, it was in our last chapter, they were catapulting the monkeys away. So now I'll just read the last page and we'll continue on to the chapter. Far away. We did it, and said Teddy. Yes, I said. Now we can get back to finishing our book. Chapter 11. The Giant Gorilla. But before we could get back to finishing our book, we had to clean up the mess the monkeys had made. Finally, about 1,000 million trillion gazillion years, we had everything back to normal and we were ready to start work again. I had just finished writing the words, "Once upon another time," said Teddy. And Teddy had just finished pointing out that I had misspelled upon again when the table began shaking. Quiet, shaking, quit shaking the table. I said, "I'm not shaking the table," said Teddy. "I thought you were shaking the table." "I'm not shaking the table," I said as the treehouse began to sway. "Quit swaying the treehouse," said Teddy. "I'm not swaying the treehouse," I said. "I thought you were swaying the treehouse." "It's not me," said Teddy. "I think it's the giant gorilla down there." "But why would a giant gorilla be shaking our tree?" I said. "Beats me," said Teddy. "It's not like it's a banana tree." "Of course," I said. "That's it. To the gorilla, it is a banana tree. A giant banana tree." "Isn't it obvious?" I said. "The giant banana tree we catapult must have landed on a distant tropical island. And it found the giant banana and ate it." Banana. Comment down below if you like bananas. And loved it so much that it made a boat out of a giant banana peel. And it used its giant nostrils to trap the giant bananas sent all the way back here. Banana. And now it's shaking our tree in the mistaken belief that it's a giant banana tree. "It seems a little far-fetched," said Teddy. "All that trouble for a banana?" "A giant banana," I reminded him, "with extra giant banana flavor." Just when we heard the unmistakable roar of a giant gorilla that has traveled across the ocean in the giant banana peel boat in search of giant bananas. "Banana, banana." "I think you could be right," said Terry. "It would be. It would certainly explain why it's here shaking our tree. What are we going to do?" "Give it more bananas, of course," I said. "We can't," said Teddy. "The monkeys broke our banana enlarger." "Can't you fix it?" "Maybe, but it will take too long," said Teddy. "They've completely pulled it apart." "Well, we've got to do something," I said, "before it shakes the treehouse to pieces." "Banana!" roared the giant gorilla. "Banana!" "There are no bananas here," shouted Teddy. "Well, there was, but not anymore." "Banana!" roared the gorilla in response. "It's no use," I said. "Apart from the word banana, I don't think it speaks English." Comment down below again if you think it speaks banana. And then, just when we thought the day couldn't get any crazier, a white stretch limousine pulled up at our front door, and a chauffeur in a fancy uniform got out and rang our doorbell. "We're up here," I called down to him. "Which one of you is Teddy?" he said. "Me," said Teddy. "Well," said the chauffeur, "I'm very pleased to inform you that you have won first prize in the barking dog drawing competition with your drawing of Barky at the beach." "Wow, that's so exciting," said Teddy. "What do I win?" "You get to meet Barky," said the chauffeur. "When?" said Teddy. "Right now," said the chauffeur, opening the back door of the limousine. "This is great," said Teddy. "Barky's here. Not only I get to meet him, but he can save us in the treehouse." "And how exactly is he going to do that?" I said. "By barking, of course," said Teddy. Right on cue, Barky emerged from the limo and began barking at the giant gorilla. He barked. Okay, this might be the boring part for everybody. And barked. Bark, 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 and barked, bark. And then the giant gorilla lifted up one of his gigantic feet and stomped on him. Squish! Comment down below if you like barking. We watched as the chauffeur scooped Barky up and carried him to the limo. "Well, do you think he's okay?" said Teddy. "Well, he's still barking," I said. I didn't even really get to meet him," sighed Teddy. "Banana!" Bark. Meanwhile, the gorilla wasted no time in getting back to shaking the tree, only this time even harder than before. "Oh no," said Terry. Really are in big trouble." I think I could delete the big. Even Barky couldn't save us. What are we going to do? "Say goodbye to the tree house," I said, "and say hello to the monkey house. With the tree house, we'll have nowhere to live and nowhere to write books." "I hate monkeys," said Teddy. "And giant gorillas. Well, you've only got yourself to blame," I said. "If you hadn't sent away for sea monkeys or fooled around with giant bananas in the first place, none of this would ever have happened." Help, banana. But Teddy wasn't listening to me. He was looking up into the sky. "Can you hear that?" he said. "You mean the sound of a giant gorilla destroying the treehouse?" I said. "Yep, coming through loud and clear." "No," said Teddy. "The sound of a flying cat. It's Silky. She's coming back and she's not alone." I looked up. Teddy was right. Flying cats, a whole bunch of them. 13 to be exact, with Silky in the lead. They were flying in formation, coming in low and fast like fire jets. Fighter jets. Could they shoot bullets out of them? "Oh, great," I said, as if a giant gorilla wasn't that bad enough. "Now we're being attacked by a flock of flying cats." How do you know they're attacking us, said Teddy. Maybe they want giant bananas too. Cats don't eat bananas. I said, everybody knows it. Besides, they look angry, not hungry. Maybe it's the gorilla they're after, said Teddy. Look how scared it is. Teddy had a point. The gorilla was no longer shaking the tree. It was staring at the cats. Its fur bristling. It roared loudly. But if the cats were worried, they didn't show it. They were definitely taking aim at the gorilla. We braced ourselves for the 13 flying cats and one gorilla and one giant gorilla collision. Probably one giant gorilla tornado. But it never came. At the last possible moment, the cats separated into two groups, flew past the gorilla and soared up into the sky, where they reformed into a menacing circle high above us. That's when the gorilla started to climb the tree. There are no giant bananas up here, shouted Teddy. We already told you that. I don't think it's after giant bananas anymore, I said, I think it's after getting into a better position to fight the cats. No bananas, banana. Banana. The gorilla climbed higher and higher and higher. Swipe, until it was standing at the top of the tree. It beat its enormous chest and roared at the flying cats, which continued to attack and torment it. The cat swooped and the gorilla swiped. Occasionally, the gorilla would strike the cats and send them crashing to the ground, but they always landed on their feet and rejoined the battle just as quick as they had left it. Eventually, the 13 ferocious flying cats became too much for the gorilla. It lost its grip, fell out of the tree, crashing to the ground with a sickening thud. Sickening thud. But the flying cats still weren't finished with the gorilla. Before it could get up, they swooped down, sunk their claws deep into its fur, and lifted it up into the air and carried it away. Comment down below if you think those flying cats are going to stay at Silky's house. At Jill's house. Banana. He's probably not going to give up. Well, looks like Silky and her paws have saved the day, said Teddy. If I hadn't turned her into a cat, the treehouse would have been destroyed for sure. I was about to point out that the only reason the treehouse was in danger was the first place because of him, his sea monkeys, and the stupid giant banana. But at that moment the doorbell rang. Oh no, I said, not more sea monkeys. Not more sea monkeys, said Teddy. And Teddy, how could you? But Teddy didn't answer. He was already gone. I raced out to Teddy, determined to stop him. from hatching another bunch of eggs that might threaten our treehouse and not to mention our lives. But it wasn't Bill the postman at the door, it was Jill. She was painting and she was panting as if she'd run the whole way over. Was that Silky I saw? She said, flying away from your treehouse with a giant gorilla? Yes, said Teddy. I elbowed him hard. He needs to know, I said. Yes, that's right, said Teddy. I mean, no. Jill frowned. I'm sure that was Silky. But isn't Silky white? I said. Those cats are yellow and they are flying. Does Silky fly? You didn't mention it on your poster. Well, he doesn't usually, said Jill. But one of those cats was Silky, I'm sure of it. I'd recognize her anywhere, and you two know something. I can tell. You'd better start talking and fast. I'm sorry, I said. But it wasn't my fault, it was Teddy's. He painted Silky yellow. Yellow. And turned her into a canary. Well, catenary, I guess. And then she flew away. I'm really, really sorry. A catenary? Said Jill slowly. Teddy turned Silky into a catenary? Yes, and I said, I tried to stop him. But I'm so glad you didn't, said Jill. Huh? I said, you don't mind? Not at all, said Jill. In fact, it's fantastic. I've been really wanting to get a cat and nanny, but I was worried that Silky would eat it. Having a flying cat is like having the best of both pets. Thank you, Teddy. You're welcome, said Teddy. If you'd like any other animals to be converted, you know where to bring them. Thanks, said Jill. I'll definitely think about it. Meanwhile, I'd better get home and put out some bird seed for Silky and her new friends. After she left, Teddy clapped his hands together. Well, that all turned out pretty well, don't you think? I guess so, I said, except for one small thing. What's that? We still haven't written our book! There's no need to shout, Andy, said Teddy. Just relax. It'll be okay. In what sense can I possibly relax? And how can it all possibly be okay? I said, we still have no book and it's due in tomorrow. How are we ever going to think all the stories up in time, let alone illustrate them? Easy, said Teddy. We don't have to think anything up. We just live through a really interesting day. All we can do is just write it all down, draw some pictures, and we'll have our book. You know, I'm much smarter than Teddy, but actually sometimes I get this really weird feeling that he is actually much smarter than me. That's a crazy idea, I said. Oh, sighed Teddy, disappointed. So crazy, I said. It just might work. What are we waiting for then? And said Teddy, let's get started. And so we sat down and wrote and drew Andrew and wrote. And wrote Andrew and wrote. Andrew and wrote Andrew. So many words of Andrew and wrote. Andrew until exactly 4:45 p.m. the next day. We've done it, I yelled. But it's 4:45. How are we going to get it to Mr. Big Nose on time? Deadline is 5 o'clock. We'll never make it. Oh, yes, we will, I said. But how? I don't know, I said. But we'll think of something. That's when we heard it, a jingling noise. Daddy jumped up. It's Santa Claus! He said, quick, get the stockings, hang them up and pretend we are asleep. But it's not Christmas Eve, I said. In fact, it's not even Christmas. Well, Christmas is coming up. We went to the edge of the deck and this is what we saw. Jill was flying through the sky towards us in a pram drawn by Silky and the other flying cats. Check out my new flying cat sleigh, she said as she hovered in mid-air beside us. Want to come on for a ride? We can't, I said. We're busy. We're trying to figure out how we can get our book to Mr. Big Nose in the city by 5 o'clock. I could take you, said Jill. These flying cats are really fast. Come on, climb aboard. And so we did. And that's how we got the book to Mr. Big Nose on time. And then he published it. And then you read it. And we all lived happily ever after. Unless, of course, your life was strategically cut short as a result of your brain being fired on one of the prototype direct-to-brain information delivery technology helmets. The end. Okay, so we will be giving away one of these 13 Dodgers books. So if you subscribe and share this video, if we have over 100,000 subscribers on just this video, the next video we can give away 2 of these 13 treehouse books. So please subscribe, comment down below, and share. Thank you.